Okay, everybody, welcome to our Youngevity checkup number 6, all about chronic illness and how you can become a pain eliminator and a peace facilitator. Carrying on this week from our fantastic job that we had on Sunday with Bronwyn Clinton on fibromyalgia. We just think this is such a fantastic, important topic for everybody. And so we're just diving deep in and trying to take the most positive note we can in our Doc Wallach message that we have for everybody. And so it's a great night tonight. So welcome, everyone. It's great to see you. And I'm super happy to have my partner in crime, Kylie Pearson. This is our 3rd call we've done together. We've done happy hour, and we've done kids health together. And so tonight is definitely a topic that's really close and dear to Kylie's heart. So why don't we just all give Kylie a big warm welcome and thank her so much for saying yes to me and joining me in on this call. So Kylie, welcome to the call tonight. How are you?
Thank you so much. Wow, that was
welcome,
lovely.
Kylie.
Hi, hey Grant. I'm just gonna apologize if I'm a bit laggy. So I really am sorry for that. But Tracy's she's promised me that she'll pick up the slack if I do pull out. So it's so lovely to see your faces and some people who are incredibly special to me. So lovely, always gives me peace in my heart just to slide into this. But Tracy's right. Like Bronwyn did a great call the other night and Sunday evening about fibromyalgia, and I would like to add on to that tonight, if I may, if you'll allow me. And not just fibro, just chronic illness generally. And some of the things that I've weaned from my life lessons and from those around me. So I'm really glad that you're here to be a part of that with me.
Thank you. Well, Kylie, before we do that, why don't we get some updates from you? So number one, from our first call was about bringing more humor into your life, and the second call was about your gorgeous kids health. So why don't you give us an update? What's been happening in that home? You've been in lockdown for almost about 300 days down there in Melbourne. So you definitely, have some things to do to keep yourself smiling and happy, and your girls, so give us a little update. What's been happening?
With the girls and just being at home, and hubby's at home working as well, of course. So we're just all here all the time. So what we do is we try and be a little bit, what's the word? We make decisions ahead of time. So even just having a chat with the girls today, going, hey, why don't we do a picnic night in the next couple of days with the kids on the street? And just little things like that to keep us motivated and whatnot. We do our treats. Last night we had gelato with Youngevity poured all over.
Good girl.
Which is a favorite. Charlotte, she prefers the watermelon sprinkles, so she has that on hers. And just little things like finding the joy in the moments is, and the kids have been amazing. Bethany has started her own business. She does all the samples for any remotely kid product. So the sprinkles, the kids toddy, just everything like that. So she's doing that. She's sending them out, and she's so excited that she's actually giving me a run for my money at the moment.
And I saw her reading the Doc Wallach's Street Kids. So
yeah,
tell me a little bit about that. What did she get out of that? What do you think about that book?
Well, she loved that. Let me grab it. What was really good, this is not just a kid's book, guys. All right, let me just tell you that right now. I learned so much reading this. It's just incredible. Bethany went through and she had a highlighter, and she's 9, and she just went through and she said, what does that mean? And she had questions and everything. But I would recommend that for everybody. Karen Chillman can hook you up in Australia for the Doc Wallach books. she just took so much, like, obviously she's 9, so she's not like looking to change. Well, she does want to change the world, but she wants to help people. And
Yeah.
this book gave her a few little ideas of how she could start, and then it was all over. It was
Well,
all over.
it's interesting because I've been kind of getting Facebook, marketing, obviously their algorithms, but on kidpreneur books, books on kids being entrepreneurs. And I just thought like how relevant that really was. And, more and more kids, our lives are being influenced by that idea. So keep it up. Give her a big hug from all of us. And those of you on the call, I highly recommend, if you know a kid in your life, what a great gift to give for Christmas.
Yeah, it's a good one. It really
Yeah.
is. And for
Yeah.
grown-ups,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, I know yourself personally, you've been on a journey, like your Youngevity journey, and, you have your own Facebook group, and, you've made some big, bold decisions to share. You're kind of going from, why don't you give the audience a bit of an idea of that group of yours, what you used to sell or share, and how it's evolved. I know this is not what we just kind of set up for, but I'm kind of interested because this group is evolving with you. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I guess initially it was all just about engagement, just trying to get my message out there. And my message has changed over the years too. So it's been quite an interesting journey. And I think the one thing that I would say about my group, and I think that I'd encourage anybody who does have a Facebook group and uses it for business or whatnot, is keep the business on the down low and keep the relationships like right up here. Because I'll tell you right now that the people that buy off me, they're my clients, they're my people. They're not customers to me. They trust me. They feel like they know me. I'm quite vulnerable when it comes to my group page, which I'm cool about. Some people perhaps that would be more difficult for, I don't know, but we all find our place. As long as you can be honest and truthful, I think, and have some vulnerability. That's because when we talk about health and we talk about wellness, which we all do, you need to be able to trust the person you're talking to. So I think that's the main thing that I do in my group. I'm a bit of a goose, and I like to be honest and just I think when you have a relationship with that, like that with people, no matter who they are, there's a trust and a love of a goose. I hope so. But it's all about relationships. So that should be the goal of any group. Even my personal page is like that too, and be transparent.
You shared your goals, like you've shared milestones and special moments, and you've shared some goals on there, which I thought has been really good. So
Yeah.
you've set some goals for yourself, and they're seeing your journey, and this is why I really want to share. You really share your journey in there.
Yeah.
So part of your journey is chronic illness. So why don't you just give us and the team here a little bit more insight to your personal journey of chronic illness and how it's relative to you, and we can go from there.
Yeah, look, I'll try and keep this like as succinct as I can. It was almost 9 years ago, one day, sorry, I have to cough, please excuse me. One day I woke up and I couldn't move my hand. Just out of the blue, just woke up one day, couldn't move my hand and had no idea, just thought, how you sleep wrong or whatever. Anyway, that lasted 3 months and it was progressively getting worse. And I just thought, I've just never fixed it properly. But after 3 months, I think I really need to go to the doctor. And, as a mum or a dad, oftentimes you think of yourself last. So finally I went, and no one had any idea what was wrong with me. It took me about 8-10 months to get the diagnosis that I had fibromyalgia, which is a chronic illness. and actually, unfortunately, incredibly common now. Back then, it wasn't. I actually had to show my doctor what we'd Googled to even get to see a rheumatologist or anything like that. And then, of course, they threw me on a bunch of big pharma medications. I was on NDEP, I was on Lyrica at the same time, stacked on 30 kilos, which just exacerbated my pain, and just everything was harder because you're 30 kilos heavier as well. Not only do you have a chronic illness, but all of a sudden you're incredibly overweight. So that was really difficult. So it's been a really long journey since 8 years ago with the diagnosis, but it's been an incredible one. So if you had met me 8 years ago, I couldn't brush my own hair. I couldn't pick up, my youngest daughter is 9, so she was still in a cot. I couldn't actually put her into her cot. I'd have to lean over as far as I could and drop her into the cot and then rub her tummy and love her and make it okay, because I just couldn't physically do it. I couldn't drive the car. I couldn't even wash if I had a shower, I had to sleep for 2 hours. It was crazy stuff. And who I am today is just so night and day compared to the woman that I was 8 years ago. And for a very long time after that, there was a good year of absolute debilitation. And that's when I started to try and fix this, find out how I could fix it.
And so since then, you've obviously just tried different things and learned and been part of the Youngevity world. So do we want to jump into the things that you've been doing and your 9 ways of eliminating pain and how you've brought peace into your life? You ready for that?
I will give that a red hot go. Yes.
Okay, so let me just get this from the beginning. There we go, on chronic illness with Kylie Pearson.
Hello.
So as we're sharing, the bottom line is 6 out of 10 adults have chronic disease. You were saying, Kylie, what was Tom saying the other day on your call that you heard? What was Tom saying?
Oh, sorry, I just have a child walking into the sweetheart, just on a Zoom, sweetie.
Sorry.
Thank you. Timing. Oh, sorry, Tom Chenault, amazing man. Everyone is sick. So you don't even have to have a chronic disease. Everyone that we speak to in some way, let's say 90% of the people that we speak to, somebody has either an illness or a disease or something that they're battling. Everyone is sick. It's crazy.
And, it's interesting you say that, even, like those of us that work really hard, knowing what we know, we're always still that borderline, still having to constantly fix and adjust. But I have to say, I did a health evaluation with a lady, and she had over an 80 score. She's 71 years old and super gorgeous and amazing. You got to hear this. She's been a Doc Wallach follower for the last 20 years, and she's finally reached back out. So I said, well, you got to see how we're doing things now. Did the score. She came up over 80, but she has been on that journey again, thanks to the Doc Wallach, 71 years old, over an 80 score. And, like, there you go. What does that have to say? So I'm excited about it. So
that's crazy good.
As we talk about chronic illness, though, does impact so many different areas of your life. We shared this on the last call: the physical, the emotional, it affects your career. There's a very dark side of it socially, and it impacts your family. Is there anything you wanted to share and highlight on yourself personally where it's impacted the most, or in general?
Oh, look, we'll probably cover it through the call, but certainly, I think one of the main things that affected me was the personal, like the shame and the guilt that comes with having a chronic illness, because you don't feel like you can give people what they need, and you don't even know, what that means. So it affects, I think, every aspect of your life, which is pretty much what you're saying here.
Yeah. Well, we have a goal, Kylie and I, and all of those in the Youngevity world, our goal is to eliminate pain and add peace to your lives. And so we want everybody to come on the journey with us and become a pain eliminator. Now, I put a man and a woman because I know most of us in this call is a woman, but Grant, that one's you, man. There you go. That one's for you.
Thanks. Thanks, Tracy.
So we're going to talk about 8 steps to eliminating pain, and these are Kylie's very own. And so number 1 is choose your spoons wisely. Kylie, tell us more about that one.
Okay, so a lot of you might know the spoon theory. And I'm not going to bang on about this because you can find this information very easily if you Google it. But the spoon theory is something I learned very early on when I found out I had a chronic illness. And basically the premise is a spoon is worth, it's like an energy, like 1 spoon is worth this much amount of your energy, okay? And the idea is that perhaps you start the day with 10 spoons. And getting up out of bed in the morning, making breakfast, maybe even showering, that could cost you 1 spoon. For some people, that might cost you 3 spoons, depending on the like the severity of your illness and where you're at with that. So, 8 years ago, that would have cost me like 5 spoons just getting up and doing that. Today, it's like not even half a spoon. Does that make sense? So
very good.
When I say use your spoons wisely, what I'm trying to say to you is you need to be mindful of where you are, whether you have a chronic illness or not. This doesn't matter. Imagine that, I was thinking about this today. I was like, imagine if you had to take your kids to Luna Park tomorrow. What would you do today, knowing you had to take your kids to Luna Park tomorrow? Would you stay up all night and drink wine and watch movies and, whatever until 3 o'clock in the morning? No, you wouldn't. You go, okay, I'm going to get to bed early. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure, pack lunches or do whatever. You're mindful, right? And that's what it means to choose or use, I should say, your spoons wisely.
So what
whether everything's cool and hunky-dory. Sorry, say again?
That's okay. You were breaking up, so I was just jumping in there. So it's all good. Keep going.
Yeah, so I think it doesn't matter whether you have a chronic illness or everything's, good in the hood. You need to be thoughtful and mindful of where you're at. Are we good?
Good stuff. So as an example, with you would normally, let's say it took 5 spoons to do Luna Day, but you only had a total of 10, probably even to last you 3 days. So you just do less things on the day before and day after for something like that. For in your case, or somebody who was struggling like you were.
Yeah, it's about being mindful, I think, and just go.
Okay. Sorry, you're breaking up for me.
So just quickly, for example, knowing that, I'm going to do, okay, I'll just keep talking and hopefully you can glean what I'm trying to say. It really is just about being mindful and setting yourself up for success.
Good girl. Excellent. All right. Number 2. Eliminating the bad food.
All right. I'm really sorry, everybody. Yes. I wish I could just not break up for you. I really do. Eliminating the bad food. So let's quickly just touch on this again. We want to keep moving and keep this succinct. There are 12 bad foods. If you have a chronic illness, that can be more than 12 bad foods, depending on what's going on with you. Again, I'm not going to go into this. You need to look at it. Look up Dr. Glidden. He has some incredible things on YouTube, and Doc Wallach, of course, is going to be able to help you with those. the thing I will say straight up is trying to eliminate gluten. Gluten not only basically disables your body from absorbing nutrients. It's inflammatory. If you have any issues, gluten is IBS when I was 17, and I have lived with that monster. I'm 46 now, so you know it's like 30 years. I couldn't even be away from a toilet or anything. The pain and the spasms and everything. I don't have that anymore. It is a really big deal. So eliminating food oils, on list. Sorry, I just read Bronwyn's comment. That's funny. It's exactly what I meant when I said it. So eliminating bad foods, it's just another way for setting yourself up for success. And that's what tonight's about too, because this is going to be different for everybody. The 12 bad foods aren't, okay? The spoon theory, same for everybody. But there's going to be things that you will take and you can choose what you use and what works for you. But there are some things that are just a no-brainer, and I really would encourage you to really take on board, and that's the 12 bad foods and the spoon theory.
So Kylie, so we know about that part. So with you incorporating it into your house and your kids, you know, that's obviously been a challenge. So how have you overcome that? What steps have you taken? What steps have you taken to do that in your home with your kids and yourself?
Yeah, so it's incredibly difficult. Having two kids on the autism spectrum. One also has ADHD, and then my neurotypical daughter, I hate saying that, but you know, she's the worst of all of them. she just it's really difficult. So I've had to be quite cheeky, and the way that I do it is by involving them in choices or food prep. So I go, hey, let's try this almond meal, right? Let's do schnitty and almond meal or whatever, you know, and it's about them like using the Youngevity, making it exciting. You know, who doesn't love like pouring chocolate over stuff, and just little things like that. So it's still a journey. We're not an entirely gluten-free household yet, but we are working towards it. And they get to see mum being healthy. Yeah, and brilliant. That is probably the best like testimony and the best thing to convince them to work towards it themselves.
And even the website that I sent you, like the gluten-free life, you know, with all the tips and ideas in there. So there's lots of great websites out there you can look up on gluten-free life, gluten-free with kids. Yeah. So there's brilliant resources out there, which is really good in that. So, okay, well, let's keep rolling then on that. And what do we got for number 3 for you?
Oh, I love this one. Okay, feed your body goodness. Now, the one thing that we know, if you follow the news or if you follow, I don't know, you just live in the world. We know that the environment is not what it was 10 years ago. We know it's not what it was 30 years ago. And it certainly isn't what it was like 100 years ago. So when I say feed your body goodness, of course, you straight away, you think fruit and veg and, you know, some great protein and all that. But unfortunately, what happens in this day and age is that you're not actually getting what you think would be the nutrients that you would get from that food. So I'm not going to bang on about it. I keep saying that, but I think I keep doing it. You need to be wise. Eat as close to the ground as you can, okay? Not literally. You don't have to like lie on your tummy on your back lawn and you know. What you do is be eating your veg, eating your fruits. If you can go organic, do so if you can. Okay, it can be a little bit prohibitive in costs sometimes, but however you can incorporate that, then by all means do. Now, in saying that, because of the deficiencies in the soils and just the environment and the air and everything that the plants are, drawing in, you need to supplement. Okay, so without a doubt, that is just a no-brainer for me. I don't care how healthy you eat. My son, he's 25, and he eats great, and he's just looking into becoming a vegetarian. So I sent him some Beyond Tangy tangerine and some plant-derived minerals and stuff, and said, look, you know what? Whatever you do, you need to make sure that you're getting something, whether you go veggie, I say veggie, I hope that doesn't offend anybody. But whether you do that or not, you need to be getting, and however you can do that. And if you can get more than 90, more power to you. Oh, I've just, like, my whole screen just disappeared. Can you guys see me?
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. What a turn of it. There we are. Hi. And the one thing I'll say about supplementing too, which is incredibly important, right? All supplements are not made equal. They are not. So what you buy off your supermarket shelf, I wouldn't even waste your money, truly. Even like Chemist Warehouse stuff, you need to do your research. You need to find out what you're actually getting, and then you need to make sure that you can absorb it in the first place, right? So that goes back to that first step, and the second step, I should say, like, get rid of those bad foods so you can do it. There's a lot. It's not that complicated. Maybe I'm making it sound like it is, but if you want to be able to absorb nutrients, you need to have a body that can absorb nutrients in a nutshell. So so feeding your body goodness, do the best that you can with the produce you buy, but then you need to supplement, and you need to use the right supplements. Top shelf, it is worth the money. And half of the times, the things that I use personally, it's comparable to what I would buy to get what I would need off a supermarket shelf. I'd be spending probably 3 times the amount of what I spend getting my top shelf products.
And one of the brilliant things about our business too is, because if you're running it like a business, all the products that we do purchase, we get to write it off as business expenses.
Winning.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Okay, are we ready to keep moving? Was there anything you wanted to add that makes you unique on feeding your body goodness?
No, I think I'd rather keep moving. I'm more than happy to chat with anybody after this recording and stuff. You can inbox me if you want more info, or if you want websites or anything like that. So let's keep moving.
Well, I love this slide.
Choose wisely.
So give us more examples.
Let's do that. All right, so choose wisely. I am so glad that my beautiful friend Jeanette is here tonight, hopefully feeling a little bit better. Yeah. All right, so choose wisely. How can I, okay, wrap it all up. Clean home, happy heart. Okay, so when you're talking about chronic illness or any illness at all, we want to think holistically. It's one thing to cleanse your body and detox and do all of these things, but if you have a house filled with poison and toxins, I'll tell you right now, it's only going to get you so far. Okay, and when we talk about that, and it's something actually I'd really love to do a call on one time. It's just about eliminating toxins, and that could be people, that could be chemicals, that could be whatever. But if you have a clean, healthy home environment, that is setting you up to succeed, because you're doing all this work, you're trying to heal your body and doing all that. But if you have poison around you, it's only going to get you so far. right? So what I do is I've replaced my cleaning products with, I use Nature Direct predominantly with everything I can. There are some items that I buy that are different that I can get from the supermarket, like laundry liquids and whatnot. So your focus is read the label. This is one thing Jeanette taught me. Read the label. If there's stuff on that label that you can't pronounce, or there's like and lots of numbers and lots of letters, big red flag. Okay. So you need to be cleansing your home and eliminating that toxicity as well. So just simply, like truly, just something as simple as that, and your cloths. And I had to say, and the revitalizer, air revitalizer, the air, I had to turn it off so it wouldn't interfere with the Zoom call, but air revitalizer is just a game changer. So that what you're doing is you're cleaning your home, your work environment from the inside out. So you're changing yourself and you're changing the environment you live in. And so what did I say? Clean home, happy heart.
Nice. Good girl. Love it. Okay.
Oh, oh, hello.
Become a sleep expert.
I'm a sleep expert, and I was just mentioning the air revitalizer. So this is a ripper. Now, another thing that Jeanette has taught me has been how you can reprogram your mind before you go to bed. So there are like sleep scents, so a scent will trigger that idea. Okay, it's like, oh, that's my sleep set. That's the sleep moment. So I use this one. This is what is it? The Enviro Air. This one's the adult one, but there's one for kids as well. So setting yourself up for success, becoming a sleep expert, having something like the air revitalizer, and it has a really, really great white noise, very gentle, very soothing, has a red light if you want it, or like that if you don't. So little things like that, and having a routine, a sleep routine is so incredibly important. Getting off screens, chilling out. Oh, sorry. Who would have ever thought I might talk too much? Excuse me.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a fantastic job, Kylie. Tell us more.
So the sleep routine is really important. Now, if you have a chronic illness, this is even more important. Now, if you have pain, particularly joint pain, muscle pain, things like that, you often will find that you're tossing and turning during the night. I often have a lot of pain through my hips. I cannot stay in the one position for more than sometimes 40 minutes. That's how much that's how much I toss and turn, and I'm fluffing pillows, I'm flipping pillows, I'm doing all this. Well, I was. So I found a routine that worked really well, and you'll find your own if you really think about it. Definitely get off screens. All right, I'll say that first. My kids hate me for that, but it's a true story. I'm going to tell you what I do. So other than getting off screens, my phone, so this is my office. I'm not attached to the house or anything like that. Before I leave this space at night, my phone is already on silent. I've also put some things in place on my phone that I have to open it up. I have to jump through a few hoops to do that. So I have to, it's not like so I do have it next to my bed because I use it as an alarm, but I can't just go and grab it and check it, So it's there, it's available, but not really accessible. It's a little bit more tricky. The other thing that works really, really well for me, and what's great for chronic illness too, for most, not all, and you'll take what you can away from this, but I use the Fit Shake, which here's one I prepared earlier. Well, not really, it's just a giant thing as big as my head. and very glowy with my light. So this is a fit shake. This is incredible. The properties in this with the bone broth, collagen, which is in the bone broth, anti-inflammatory, which is awesome. I mixed that with my collagen. Louis, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, there it is. So I make a drink of that. I make it super chocolatey and just drink a big glass of that, shake it up. I've got my little Youngevity zhuzha and make it lovely. And then just before bed, about half an hour before bed, I make a glass of the Osteo FX. And I don't know what is happening with my body doing that. This is something I learned actually probably about 6 months ago from Sanjeev. Do you guys know Sanjeev?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So he's the one that got me onto the fit shake with the collagen. I went, all right, no brainer. I'll try that. And I just haven't looked back. And so now I sleep for a good, and this might sound crazy to some people, I don't know, but I sleep for a good 4 or 5 hours, a big chunk. That first 4 or 5 hours, I just sleep all the way through. I might toss and turn a little bit in the last couple of hours of the morning, but to get 4 or 5 straight hours of sleep, holy cow, that's amazing.
Fantastic. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So becoming a sleep expert is finding what works for you. And could I just really quickly, I don't want to just talk about products or anything like that, but this is something that Charlotte uses. So this is the Bliss Spray, which I still call M3Z. I can't help myself, even though it's not been called M3Z for forever. This is the Bliss Spray. It's literally Zaya maize. So it's like a corn maize and just water. And we added mint to it because everybody didn't believe it was actually a thing because it actually doesn't have any taste. So we added a little bit of peppermint to it. So it actually tasted like you were taking something. So Charlotte uses this any night that she's finding it like restless, or Charlotte's 10. So she'll have the Bliss Spray, and it's also really great for Bethany with her autism. Nadia, when she's just having a bit of a moment, we use that as well. So I just didn't want to forget that one. It's really it's a go-to in our house.
All right. Am I on the next one?
I reckon we'd go for it.
Okay. And here we go.
Oh, hello. Okay.
There you go.
The bane of everybody with a chronic illness's like existence. The thought of exercising. Bronnie's great. She does her Fitness Fridays and everything. Having a chronic illness, or just being a human and not wanting to exercise, it's difficult. Now, Tracy, there was something that I was thinking of this afternoon, and I meant to Google it, but I forgot that there are these two gentlemen. You actually sent me a link once, and I'd seen it before, and I love these guys. And they had this great video of stretches that I think they're not naturopaths. They're like, I cannot think of their names. I meant to ask you earlier. But anyway, there's two great guys, and they have a YouTube channel. And there was this one episode that they did for fibromyalgia, and I know I'm not speaking just to people with fibro, but for me personally, there was this fibro episode, and it had stretches, stretches that you can do if you have fibro. And so I went to town and I did all these stretches, and then I couldn't move for 3 days. But I really liked the idea. So I had to be smart. Remember how I said, like, point one is use your spoons wisely. So yes, stretching is so important, but be aware that maybe for the next 2 days you might not be able to move, but the more that you do it, it's going to get easier and easier. The same with anybody, like you start gym, it's going to be like that, right?
I know for myself, being my back being my biggest enemy, and I'm constantly working on it. And exercise is limited, but the book that I have on back exercises. And it's true. And you got to get through, no matter what, you got to get through that bit of pain for the long term. And that can create anxiety. It can create, a bit of tension in there, but just being mindful, like you said, with the spoons, that really makes a difference for sure.
And I think we have to be brave as well, because there's always pain. Anything worthwhile is worth doing the hard yards for, right?
Yeah.
So and whether you have a couple of days of pain, just don't give up. Just don't give up straight away. Just keep going and keep working towards it. Don't go, oh, that was hard, I can't do that anymore. Just
Okay, I'm gonna keep us moving, Kylie, because
yes, please do.
It's just going by so fast. So let's get number 7, get the support. Tell me
and
that.
this is pretty basic, all right? The get support. The one thing I will say is that, look, not everybody needs to know your entire journey. Not everybody needs to have it like pasted over Facebook or anything like that. But what I will say, if you feel like you need to, do. And if you need to ask for help, do it. Because there is help out there. And there are Facebook pages for everything under the sun. I have a great fibro support page. It's based in Western Australia, but it's incredible. And, there's something out there for everybody. Or get professional support, get a psychologist, get somebody to talk you through the pain and strategies on what you can do. But there's always somebody that will listen, even if you don't feel like you perhaps have a circle close to you. There are avenues that you can reach out to. So getting support is incredibly important, and not just a GP. I want you to look further and past that. Even a holistic health coach, somebody like that can give you support, give you ideas and an ear to hear. Really.
And especially those of us that have been there, that's hence what makes you such a great support. So, okay, are you ready for number 8?
Boom, let's go. All right. Okay. Love this one.
It's he's not coming up. The wording's not coming up.
That's all right, because he's enough. Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself. Good girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wrap that one up.
And this is one of the hardest things that you can do for yourself, oftentimes when you have a chronic illness, because as I alluded to earlier, there's a lot of shame, there's a lot of guilt, a lot of negative thoughts that you have when you feel like you're letting people down, you're cancelling on things. Catch ups, or not that it matters in Melbourne at the moment, but anyway, but used to matter. You feel like you're letting people down all the time until like you just can't quite wrap your head around that. So be kind to yourself. It's okay not to feel okay, but don't live there. Okay. So you need to have your moment, or, and when you're in chronic pain, obviously it's difficult, but you need to find the joys, and you need to find the smiles, and you need to know that the sun shines regardless of the clouds. It's still shining, you just can't see it. Okay. So find the joy and just be kind to yourself. Just step back and back off yourself and allow yourself to feel those moments and feel the pain. But I tell you right now, once you give yourself permission to do that, it doesn't last as long. If you're going to be a mopey mope, it drags out. But go, all right, you know what? I'm going to give myself 15 minutes and I'll cry my eyes out, or I'll go, and scream at the sky or whatever. And then you move on. You go, okay, now get on with the day.
And you know what? That's interesting, because it's part of life as the yin and yang, the positive and the negative. Just as much as you got to accept and have the tough time, but then get over it. It's the same with the good moments and the celebration. You need to celebrate the good moments, but you also have to move on from it. Like, let's say you achieve a goal. So many people achieve a goal and they stop doing what it did to get them there. Like in say Youngevity, in this type of business, we get to 1 star, we did all that work, we celebrate, we stop doing the work. You got to get back doing the same work. It's the same philosophy, positive or the negative.
Yeah, it's a process. You have to keep moving. You can't stand. If you stand still, you're already 3 steps behind.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
and you personally and personally, professionally, you're either growing or you're going. There's no such thing as standing still. The word maintenance, to me, it doesn't even actually exist in my vocabulary, the word maintain. You're going or growing. So,
Yeah.
okay, well, look at us. We're moving forward. We're getting through this. This is now. Oh, really quickly. Are we going to do this? So what's next?
End game. Clear Peace Facilitator.
Oh, there we go. There was your big
Oh, there it is.
All right. So
Oh, yeah.
we know that the 7 best doctors are the fresh air, the sunshine, the rest, the good diet, the water, the exercise, and the Doc Wallach message. And
Amen to that.
we
Yeah.
know that you can become a peace facilitator by doing all these good things. And so why don't we finish off with the 4 steps to more peace in your life? Number 1.
I would love to. Bloom where you're planted. Now, I know a lot of people on this call. I know you, and I think you're all incredible at doing this already, but let's share this message, right? And get it out there. Bloom where you're planted. So regardless of whether chronic illness, bad marriage, great marriage, no kids, a bunch of kids, bad job, whatever it is, there's always an opportunity. There's always. And maybe sometimes in the moment, it's difficult to see. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist though. Okay. Sometimes we just need to, do that moment, like we were just talking about, have the moment, have your little boo, and refocus. And if you can bloom where you're planted. And I think that's different for all of us, but there's such beauty in it, and giving yourself, I should say, permission to do that. And we have a great quote coming up at the end of this presentation, which is going to really nail what I'm saying right now, because I think the one thing we're afraid of sometimes is really just jumping in and allowing ourselves to succeed.
And imagine that. Imagine if you were to grow and become this amazing sunflower and have so many more seeds to plant in the earth, and to watch other people grow to be their best and shine tall, and this is what, and like in the Bible, it says you reap what you sow. Well, do you know that's actually not true? Do you want to know what's true? You reap more than you sow. When you plant seeds and you do the work and you do the harvest, you will get tenfold of what you put in. But what people do is tenfold. You reap more than you sow. And so this is such a great time to be sowing seeds in the world that's going on around us. There's more opportunity now than ever before. More people concerned, worried about their health, their sickness, or anything. And you are the solution. And so if you give yourself permission to shine right now, today, look at how much you've shined since you and I have met. You're glowing. You are absolutely, you look younger, you look happier, you look healthier from when you and I first started. I already thought you were amazing then, but just watching you now, it's just growing and glowing even more. So sorry, that one got me really pumped and excited because you inspired that, and I've literally seen you bloom. So there you go.
But it's true, and you know what? But you have to give yourself permission to switch onto it. Make the mental, decide, go yes, and go for it, because decide to go.
And remember,
so number 2.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but is when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot. When you think you know it all, again, it's you're growing or going.
Yeah, so true. It really is.
Okay, number 2.
No brainer. And we've already touched on this, so we don't have to really bang on about it, but enjoy the moment. Enjoy those special little times, look, I'm not a big bath person, but my bestie is, and she loves just sitting in a bath for 3 hours of forever, if she had her way. What kind of
person are you? So then what kind of person are you?
I love just a steaming hot shower, and I love getting into fresh clothes, and I always make my bed in the morning. Just little things that I always start the day with. I get out of bed and make it. And just little things like that that just make me feel like I've achieved things already. You know, one thing I will say, sorry, I have to cough again. Always put your shoes on in the morning. It's so easy, especially if you're in lockdown, right, to wear your mockies or your slippers all day. I do love my mockies. Put your shoes on every morning, because do you know what then? You are ready for anything. And it's one thing that I taught myself. I don't know, it just popped into my head years ago. I went, you know, if you've got your shoes on though, you're ready for anything.
Well, it's
You know,
funny, funny you share that, because I've worked from home for almost 30 years and from my house. And it's something I do. I actually put my runners on. I have them on right now, just to show you.
Come on, there we go. I've got mine on too, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay, we got 5 minutes here to wrap this up. So
Yep.
let's get this going here. Let me just pull this next one from Share the Moment. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so the last one is share your joy.
We're on number 3.
Oh, 3.
Beautify your environment. Don't forget that.
Okay, no, this is really important, actually.
Okay.
So, beautifying your environment, and it's something that I really wanted to touch on, is bringing life. So obviously you can beautify yourself from the inside out, and you make these choices, you feed your body good stuff. But in beautifying your environment, like I touched on before with getting rid of toxins in your home, the air revitalizer, you know, cleaning your environment, but bringing greenery and plants and life into your environment. And not only is that really healthy, you know, oxygenating the air and all of those things, and it's like beautiful, right? But it just changes, it shifts the way that you look at the world. And you don't have to love plants, you don't have to be good at looking after plants. But the one thing, so I just did want to mention this though, and this is what we've started using, is the blooming minerals. So we're trying to plant a veggie crop, which I started 8 years ago before I got sick, and I could never finish it, and now I can. So what we're doing is we're trying to bring the soil back. So we've been using the blooming minerals, and we've been doing a few experiments on just some of our plants around the home and everything. It's been quite incredible. So beautifying your environment, whether it's with plants, the things that you love, even if you hang scarves in your window or wind chimes, or, you know, whatever floats your boat, you know, but be mindful of it. Choose what you want to add.
Love it. Well, I love candles.
Mm.
I sold candles for 23 years. I loved my environment, always having that. So I'm burning one right now, as you can see. I've been very homesick. I haven't gone back to home in 3 years. And it's fall there, and I actually been craving pumpkin and cinnamon and maple. So those are the candles I've been burning, and I've even been drinking my gingerbread matcha, just to, you know, like, again, it's part of that environment, and, you know, just again making myself.
You know what you need? You need the cinnamon version of the bliss spray.
There you go. There you go. Okay, number 4, finding your joy.
All right. Share your joy. Like, find it, by all means, do that first, and then share it. And I think being vulnerable is great. Don't ever be a doormat, but share your joy, and whatever that means for you. I walk down the street. Actually, I used to, because you can't see my face anymore because I always have to wear a mask. But I used to walk down the street and I would just smile. Like, I just smile at people, or I go, "Oh, I love your hat," or whatever, you know. And I freaked some people out, but most of the time people, it's so catching. Contagious. Share your joy, share your story, because we all have a story. So this is just mine tonight that I'm just touching on. We all have something. We're all an expert, and Tracy will agree on this one. We're all an expert at something. You might not know what it is yet, but you share it, share your story, share your joy, what lights your heart up, what floats your boat, whether it's your kids, whether it's, you know, whatever. I think you guys know me well enough, like this smile is real, right? I love talking about what we're talking about, even though it's like this bummer of a subject like chronic illness, but it's not been a bummer of a night, has it? It's hopefully you've gleaned some encouragement and some joy and things like that. So sharing your joy should be a big, giant, awesome, gorgeous snowball effect. You know?
Well, honey, you have done a fantastic job of sharing your joy tonight. So I want to thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
we talked about finishing off with a quote, and I think this is we picked a really good one. And so I'm going to share this with everybody. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. So we are born to shine, you girls and boys. We are born to shine. So let that shine through. And we know that the Doc Wallach way is the way to help us shine better than ever, because we know the Doc cares, and you know he has shown us a fantastic way to go. So these are Kylie's non-negotiable supplements.
Yes.
You got the heart and brain healthy body pack, your collagen, your fit shake. Those are your non-negotiables. Everything else is a bonus.
Yeah.
And these are your products that you recommended tonight, products that bring joy and peace in your life. And that's the blooming minerals, which we know the blooming minerals, and that citrus D, the sunshine. You didn't share that one, honey.
I know, I forgot.
That's okay.
Sunshine in the bottle.
Sunshine,
Yeah.
vitamin D, the calm, the bliss, and our revitalizer. And I'll just say that citrus D, especially in light of these times, is such a great product. And I know our blooming minerals, they are currently out of stock. Please put it on your list. Please contact NZ Support. Tell them when it comes in for them to call you so you can get it on your wish list, get it home, so you can start enjoying those fantastic products. Because we know the Youngevity life is the best life. And you know what? I just want to thank everybody here tonight for our number 6 episode of Youngevity Checkup. Woohoo! All right, we got 1 more minute. Anybody want to share what they loved about the call and what made Kylie so special tonight? Who wants to go first? Jeanette.
Hello?
Gotta unmute yourself. Oh. Are we having troubles? Anybody here want to share what they got out of tonight, what they loved?
Yeah, I remember spending 3 or 4 spoons just getting myself organized for the day when I was going through my cancer treatment.
Yeah.
I was 3 or 4 spoons just doing that.
Did you know of the spoon theory back then, Grant?
No, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I spent, interestingly enough, I spent 2 lots of 3 hours a day doing my martial arts training in that time.
Crazy.
I couldn't do it standing up because I wasn't strong enough for that, but I did it in Caesar. Yeah.
You really are a warrior.
I got very good at it. I did more martial arts training when I was sick than when I was healthy.
That's crazy.
Hey guys, sorry. I couldn't find the exit the minimum screen thing. Kylie, you're the most consistent and really tenacious individual I've met, really. You're amazing. We're really quite blessed to have you in our community, and I know that coming across from a merger is really difficult and it can be challenging, and I'm glad that we've had a chance to navigate that with you and to guide you through what you've gone through. But I'm learning from you every day. You are really amazing. So thank you for being part of my life and our community. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And Jeanette, right back at you, mate. If you know, without you and your leadership and the mentorship between you and Tracy, like, you guys keep my fire burning and a fire under my butt as well. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I really am. And just for the friendships of all of you as well.
It's been a fantastic night. Even Trace here said your honesty, your genuineness, I can tell this is very much real and life-changing for you. You're an incredible human being. So I couldn't
Nah,
agree.
she's my girl. I
There
love
you go.
Trace.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming tonight. We will be back here at this time 1 week from today, the 6th of October, with Grant, our warrior. And we are going to be talking about the star in you and how the stars made us happen. So it's going to be a great topic on minerals. And
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Can't wait.
fantastic. So other than that, get yourself registered for Team Challenge. You'd see I've sent an email out to you guys. I've posted. I want to do something special. I've set a goal of having 25 teams in the Team Challenge. And those of you that are registered will be able to get some extra bonus flash sales. Do you like the flash sale for tomorrow?
Love it. It's the best product. I had really sore throat on Monday night. It's amazing.
Brilliant. And Herbal Rainforest is double QV as well. And if you fell in love with the actual Fit Shake and you're planning on buying some, just hold off for exactly 2 weeks. And that's a little secret is all I can say. If you can hold off, or hold off for 2 weeks. Okay. Love you guys. You have a great night.
Thank
Good night.
you. Thanks everybody for being here. Love you.
Thanks, Kylie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trace.